Hello you gorgeous people, welcome to my channel. My name's Tara and I'm here to help you make confident choices with your beauty buys. And today I'm looking at Kevyn Aucoin's Neo Highlighter in Sahara. Okay, so let's take a look at some swatches. So this one here is Candlelight, and the middle tone which is Starlight, and then the bronze which is Sunlight. So you see there's a pinker tone to Starlight which you would use on your cheeks, and then a warmer bronzer tone to Sunlight, and then the lightest shade is kind of like a champagne-y shade. So obviously you can sort of swirl these all together and put it all over, but the video that I'm going to show, I've separated those out. So I'm using the lightest shade on my high points, and then the pinkiest shade on my cheeks, and then the bronzer where I'd put a bronze in the sort of the classic 3 shape on my face. This is a mini. There are 0.2 ounces in this. The original has, I believe, 0.74 ounces, so you're getting almost 4 times with the bigger one. I think this one retails for about £28, whereas the full size is around £50. Now, I have had 2 of the bigger palettes. I went for a smaller palette. You can see here I've hit pan way earlier with the light colour than I'm going to with the dark colour, and this has brought about a few issues. Well, it did with the bigger palettes. Unfortunately, I found that the product cracked really easily before I'd even hit pan. With the bigger products, I had not had it too long and there would be a crack, and because the actual pan is quite shallow and the product is sort of 3 colours, everything went everywhere. The pan was too shallow and essentially my product was lost. I could have tipped it into a bigger container, but then you wouldn't get the separation of the different colours. That happened to me once. I bought the palette again and the same happened again, and it was before I even hit pan. But I loved the palette so much and I loved the way it looked so much that I was prepared to buy it again and give it another go, and the same thing happened, even though I sort of tried not travelling with the palette. So when the smaller version came out, I was quite excited because I thought that maybe that issue of the powder breaking might not happen, because obviously there's a smaller surface area, so I felt like it would be less fragile, but I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. Obviously I've hit pan here and I am worried that as soon as I go down a bit further there, the whole thing's going to crack. So anyway, take a look at how I use this palette. There's a video coming up right now and you'll see that I do actually use the 3 separate colours. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I use the Sahara Neo Highlighter. First off, I'm going to dip into the lightest shade. And I do tend to do my highlighter first. That's the highlighter. Now I'm going to go in with the deepest, so I'm going with the bronzer with a bigger, fluffier brush. So it's contoured quite nicely, and then I'm going to use a different brush and I'm going to go into the middle here. So there you see how the palette finishes off my look. It's very pretty. It's very pretty, it's very classy. It's not the sort of high beam look, but it's a very, very subtle lit from within glow. I do think it's beautiful, which is why, despite the fact I had it break once and then again, and then I went to buy the small one, I still absolutely love this powder. I think it is beautiful. But I would say probably not one to pop in your handbag, because I do think the powder is prone to cracking, which is because it's so fine, so finely milled. And I do believe, I was hoping to be able to tell you, my advice would have been to buy the colours separately, Candlelight, Starlight and Sunlight, because Kevyn Aucoin used to sell the separate colours. And also if you use more like I do, I've gone into this a lot more than I've gone into the darker colour, then obviously, you know, once I've run out here and I've got the darker colours, then this palette is kind of redundant unless I buy another palette again, and I'm always going to be left with more of the dark side than the light side. So that's a bit of an issue, and so originally I was going to say to you, go and buy the 3 separate colours if you really, really like this powder or want to try this powder, but I don't think that's an option anymore. So I have to say, I think this is beautiful, beautiful powder. I think it gives the skin such a beautiful finish. My advice if you're going to grab one is don't travel with it. Keep it somewhere safe where it doesn't get knocked, and do be prepared that you might find yourself going into one end rather than the other quicker, and running out of one colour quicker than the other. So, you know, the ombre thing is cool and it's a neat idea and it looks beautiful when you get it, but there are a few practicalities with the way this palette works. Nevertheless, would I buy it again? I absolutely would. I just think it's really, really, I think the finish it gives is so, so pretty, so, so gorgeous. And you can't really go over the top with it. You can kind of keep building up, and it's never going to look bad. So for me, a few design faults with this ombre palette, but would I buy it again? I would, but that's because I'm a beauty junkie. Let me know your thoughts if you've got any Kevyn Aucoin, or if there's anything you're tempted to get from his collection. I would love to know if you've had this palette or the bigger palette. Have you had the same issue with the breaking? Because it's kind of upsetting when you spend so much on makeup. Let me know in the comments below, and yeah, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it in any way helpful, please subscribe, like as well, and I will see you very soon. I've got some Pat McGrath coming up. I've got the new Natasha Denona bronze eye palette and the face palette, which I'm really excited to try, so they'll be coming up next week. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.